Stephen with Jacksonville Real Estate News here. I hope you're having a wonderful and amazing day. What we're going to talk about in this video is how do we price our home in the current market. So if you want to know more, like, subscribe, comment below. This is for everybody, not just for you. Please share this with your friends and family. They need this information just as much as you do. So let's get into it. How do we price our home in today's market? It's a question I'm getting all the time. I'm getting it from customers I'm going on appointments with. I'm getting it from other agents who work at my brokerage, and even just random people talking in the grocery store or in line at the gas station. Hey, how do we price our home, Stephen? What do we do? Great question. The big thing that we need to look at right now, and I think this is going to surprise you, and it's probably not going to be what you think I'm going to say, but the big thing that we need to look at right now, what's your next step? Where are you going? What are you going to do? Are you going to go and rent? Great, if you are. Awesome. What's the plan for rental? What is your budget? Hey, take a look at some of our other videos. What does your budget look like for a rental property? We just had a wonderful, wonderful couple who sold their property. And the first thing I said was, what are you doing? What's our next step? They're going to go rent. They have a budget number in mind. Boom, we found it. We got their home on the market. We priced it accordingly, which we'll get to that in a second. But the first thing you need to think about, where are you going next? In this market, especially here in Northeast Florida, that can kind of be all over the place. If you're getting relocated out of town, great. What does that look like? Are you buying or renting in your next place? Do you have to have the money from the sale of your home, also known as the proceeds? Do you have to have the proceeds of selling your home to buy your next home? If you do, okay, that's going to go into our pricing strategy. That's going to go into how do we plan all this? When do we do the move? When do we not do the move? Et cetera, et cetera. You need to have those conversations. You need to be processing through those things instead of just, Stephen, let's throw it on the market and see what happens. I've done that before. I've had families do that before. And trust me, it never works out. Especially in a market that's kind of frothy right now. It's kind of all over the place. It's just not going to go well for you. Let's have a plan and let's execute the plan. Because once you have a plan, you're going to feel better. It's going to be clear in your brain, in your heart, in everything that you're going to do if you have clarity on why you're doing it and what your next step is. So we need to make sure that we have a plan when we're pricing our home. Next thing that we're going to do is we're going to look at the comps in the local area. Now, we're looking at here in Q4 of 2022, the market has changed so much, so unbelievably much in the last 3 months. That's where we're going to look at comps. That's where we're going to look at comparable properties. When you talk to your agent and when you're interviewing an agent, you need to ask them, hey, how far back did you go in your comparable properties? If they went 6 months or a year back, throw them out. Those comps don't mean anything anymore. They don't mean anything anymore. That's when interest rates were very low and people were all over the place in some crazy valuations. That's not happening. You need to do comps within the last 3 months. Yes, that's right. 3 months. And you know what? There might not be a lot of sales in those last 3 months. I've seen comps from 6 months ago that are higher than the comps that closed in the last week. So you need to be aware of that when you are pricing your home. What are the comps saying? What are things looking like? And when we look at comps, and we'll do another video, if you'd like me to, comment below if you want me to do a video on how I do comps, how I go and sift through. I'll pull up a house and we'll walk through it and I'll show you everything. But give me a like and a comment below if you want me to do a video on walking you through how a realtor does comps. We've looked at what is our next plan. We're going to look at the comps. And how else do we price the home right now? Is talk to your real estate agent. They're going to know what's going on in the market. You need to know that. You need to know what's happening in the market. You might be in a little enclave of places where, you know what, you can still really fetch a really good price for your property. Great, that's awesome. I want you to sell your property for as much as you can sell it for. But also at the same time, you might not be in that highly desirable area, and we need to look at that. Another thing that we really need to take into account when we're pricing a home in this market is the time of year that you are going to be listing your home. Are you going to list it the day before Thanksgiving? Yeah, that could cause a problem. That could really cause a problem. Are we doing it during Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's? Here in Northeast Florida, that is the major time of year that things slow down. Now, it's not like we're talking in New England where it's a pouring down snowstorm and there's ice and things like that, and there's seasonality to the real estate market. Down here in Florida, it's beautiful all year round. We're not going to get snow, we're not going to get ice, we're not going to get any of those things, but it does slow down during the holiday season. And when I say slow down, I'm saying anywhere between a 10 to 20% decrease in sales during that time period. So I've sold and helped people buy many, many houses between November and January. No big deal. We can do it. You need to have that expectation that, hey, you know what? It might sit on the market a little bit longer during these months. The next thing that we need to be aware of when we're pricing a home in today's market is, what is the greater market trends looking like? Like I said, you can have a neighborhood that's moving fast and going, or you know what, your neighborhood might not be as desirable. You need to be aware of that, but you also need to be aware of what's going on in the greater macro economy for Jacksonville. Please, please, please do not listen to the national news media. That's why we started Jacksonville Real Estate News, so you know exactly what's going on here in the greater Northeast Florida, Jacksonville area. Focus on what's happening in our market, because our market is really, really isolated versus some other parts of Florida, versus Atlanta, the Southeast, the Northeast, anywhere, we're a little bit different. Check out our video on what makes Jacksonville great. That'll give you some more insight into it. But you need to check out what's going on with the market and what's happening. We're gonna put a link below for the local market stats. You need to be informed. You need to be educated about this. So I'm gonna give it to you. This is what realtors look at. Why can't you look at it too? You need to be an informed and educated consumer so you make the best decision for you and your family. Once again, that's why we're here at Jacksonville Real Estate News, to make sure that you can do that. So hopefully this has been helpful to you and your family and your friends of how to price your home in today's market. Jacksonville, you have a wonderful day.